how in the world, as a marketer, as a digital marketer, do you keep all of your tasks and projects in your schedule organized? We're going to be diving into that a little bit and hopefully providing some answers this week on The Thought Spot. Welcome back, all you thinkers and doers. My name is Scott, and welcome to The Thought Spot. And like I said, lately I've just been struggling. I guess before we even get into that, thank you for joining us. And if you've noticed, we're not in our studio today because of the weather. We just decided to work from home today, and so I'm going solo today. It is kind of gross looking outside, and so thank you for joining us. So I've been struggling with how to keep everything organized and scheduled and keeping as many details and notes as I can. And so I guess if you don't know about what I do, so I own Visual Element Media, which is a digital marketing company, and we specialize in video, social, and podcasts. And so we have clients that we do some social for, we do some video for. And so how do you keep all of those tasks and projects that you have going on organized? And then when you tie that in with your personal life, appointments and, things that my wife has going on, things that my kids have going on, and then, things going on with our church and discipling people and witnessing to other people. How do you keep all of this stuff organized? And so I've been struggling with that lately. And typically, you just put something in the calendar, but I'm just finding that things kept falling through the cracks, and I needed specifics. And so I started writing things down. For this client, we need to do this. And eventually that just got to the point where I couldn't keep up with it. And then we were sharing as we started bringing other people on board. How do we get all of this content, all of this information, all of this communication to all of our team members? So I was introduced to this app called Trello, and I absolutely love the app. It's not an app that it's free for the basic version. It's free, and the free version honestly does a really good job and provides you with pretty much everything you need in order to get stuff done. And so if you haven't checked out Trello, I really encourage you to do that. They're not a sponsor of us or anything, but they should be. So I use Trello, and that allows you to create tasks and projects and keep track of them within the confines of a client. And then I'm also using Evernote, which is another software app. It's free for the basic version. We're to the point where we need to, spend the $35 a year and just get the full blown kind of thing. But those are all digital. And I find myself that if I go to put something in Trello or I go to put something in Evernote, I inevitably will find myself going down the road of doing something I shouldn't be doing on my phone. Scrolling Facebook, checking email, and then all of a sudden I spend 20, 30, 40, an hour, not 40 hours, but like 40 minutes on my phone, answering emails or going through content that, I shouldn't be doing, and I get distracted and I get thrown off schedule. So I started using another method, and it's kind of old school. I went back to using a notebook, and what I'm trying to do now is figure out, and this notebook's kind of big, but like I carry around in my backpack a trapper keeper kind of thing. And if I'm in a meeting or something, I just can open my notebook, jot something down, and then I try at the end of the day to go through everything, or at the beginning of the day to go through my notes and then kind of adjust and schedule things from there. But that became extremely overwhelming for me. And so I would ask you, what are you doing to keep all of your tasks together, all of your projects together, all of your tasks within your projects and other little tasks that you need to be doing. And how detailed do you get? Like, if you're like me, I almost need to write down people I need to email or people I need to message today, because there's so many moving parts within my business. So like I said, I could have one client whom I'm doing some video content for, we're doing some social content for, maybe we're designing some graphics, and so we need to put out a lot of different information, and so there's 6, 7, 8 different projects that we're working on any given week, and we have other members of our team collaborating on those projects. It just makes it really difficult. And to make sure that we're giving our customer the best experience, we all need to be on the same page. And so that's why I love Trello, because you can add members of your team to that platform. And so all of you can see all of those updates in real time. And so that's one thing that I do, but I find that going in and creating a card, they're called cards, or adding to a drop-down list, it just takes too much time for me. Like, I'd rather just make a little note or jot it down real quick instead of going in. But then how do you marry all of these things together? And what I found was that sometimes you can get so caught up in writing things down and trying to stay organized that's what you spend all of your time doing, and you don't actually spend any time getting work done. And so how do you have time to keep organized and to keep up with your email, keep up with your social media notifications, and how do we do that? So I've been spending the last couple of weeks trying to come up with a way to do this, and I'm starting like this pilot program for me. It's nothing new. It's new for me, I guess. And so I'm still getting used to it. But what I did is I blocked out my schedule. And I just blocked out certain days or certain times of the day where I'll have meetings, or where I record podcasts or record video, edit video, work on content. And then I'm really trying my best to keep within that schedule. And so this is what it looks like if you're watching the podcast. I just have each day, Monday through Friday, I block it out from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is my typical working day. And, I set aside an hour for scheduling and answering emails right first thing in the morning. And then I go into doing a long-term project. And so that's where I have it written down here on a laminated piece of paper. And then whenever it's time to, do some content creation and scheduling, I'm like, all right, great. So then I go into Trello and I see what content needs to be created, and I knock out as many of those different posts and graphics and videos as possible. And then maybe after lunch, that's whenever I schedule meetings, or I schedule a video shoot, or, I do some extra little work. And then at the end of the day, I try to set up a half hour to go back through emails, go back through things that happened that day, answer some social media posts, because here's the thing. I understand that, replying to email and providing great customer service is number one. And I know social media tends to really take up a lot of time, because you need to reply to people, you need to answer their questions or send them, content or whatever. But I think that there's enough time in the day that if you block it out properly, you can do that kind of stuff either first thing in the morning, right before or after lunch, and then at the end of the day. Or if you're like me, where I'm out and about a lot, if I'm on my way into a meeting and I get a notification, I can easily, go in, take care of what I need to take care of, update something, in Trello, jot it down in my notebook, and then that way it's somewhere that at the end of the day I can come back and see everything that's going on, and then make sure that I didn't miss anything. But I think the number one thing that we need to remember when it comes to keeping our schedules clean and organized is making sure that we're taking the time to write something down or put it in our app or whatever, but then also at the end of the day or first thing in the morning, preferably the end of the day, we're coming back and we're making sure that our notebook matches what's in Trello or matches what's in Evernote or whatever you're using to schedule out your day. but that it matches everything that's on the same page. So tomorrow, when you come back in, you don't have to catch up anywhere. You can start fresh. And that way, all of your new marks in your notebook or all of your new additions to, Trello or Evernote, you're not missing anything. But I think that's one of the most important things is making sure that we're keeping track of everything that we're doing, but then not allowing ourselves to become bogged down in it for 8 hours a day. At some point, you need to put it away. You need to close out the app. You need to fold up your notebook and put it in your backpack and actually get to work. And that's something that I'm working through. It's something I'm trying to figure out. And sometimes you need to close out your email tab on your laptop as well. I have mine open right now. I just got another email, and it's taking a lot within me not to click and want to read it because it might just be spam. I don't know. But taking the time to do what you need to do and do it well and give yourself enough time. That's why I think I'm going to enjoy this block schedule kind of method, because I'm giving myself time to do things. And in a creative business, you also need to give yourself time to have a little bit of break, to kind of just let your mind go for a couple of minutes and not get, caught up in, rushing, because when you rush something, you lose some creativity, in my opinion. So let me know, what are you using to keep your schedule together? Do you have tips or advice? Let's share those on here. And this pertains for anyone, but specifically for digital marketers. How are you keeping track of all of your different Facebook ads that you're running or upcoming ads that you want to run, your content creation, your video production, your editing, your meetings, your editing schedule? How are you keeping all of that together? I would love to hear it. And if you'd like to be a guest here on the podcast, let us know and we can get a video feed in, and I'd love to talk to you. So thank you so much for joining us here on this week's episode of The Thought Spot. I hope that you join us again next week. And as always, I don't have a good end tag for this yet, so I'm still going to work on that. It's in my schedule of things to do, but we'll see you next week.